Hey guys, today I'm going to show you all the enchantments that you can get on your armor in Minecraft dungeons. The first one is Burning, which will damage enemies around you in a melee range, which is a very small range, every 0.5 seconds. It's not one of my favorites. The next one is Chilling, which is a powerful effect, which emits a blast every 2 seconds that reduces the movement and attack speed of nearby enemies for 1 second, which is pretty good at a very, very high level where enemies are too strong and you're getting overpowered a lot. But if you're killing enemies quicker than they can even hit you, this is kind of useless. Cooldown is the next one, which reduces the cooldown time between uses of your artifacts. If you have really good artifacts that keep you alive and keep you doing damage, maybe this is a good idea. Looking at Cowardice, while you are at full HP, you deal increased ranged and melee damage. While this is an incredible upgrade to your range and melee damage, you have to stay at full HP most of the time. So this is great if you're using a build that is very ranged orientated, in my opinion. If you look at Deflect, this will grant a small chance to deflect incoming projectiles. This is great for arrows and stuff. There's only a maximum of 60% to trigger it. I don't know if it's really worthwhile because the damage from the enemy's arrows are not that immense that it makes it really worthwhile. Electrified is a really fun one that every time you roll, it will zap 3 nearby enemies with lightning bolts, dealing sometimes really, really high damage. I mean, enough to kill most enemies in like one roll, which is actually pretty fun if you're doing a speed run through a group. It's a nice damage boost to just having it on your armor. The next one is Explorer. Now this is something that I've recently tried out and it's actually not that bad. Like I first misunderstood it because it says for every 100 blocks explored on the map you regain a small amount of health. Now this doesn't mean like how many blocks you've walked, it's more like how many blocks you can see on the map, and every time it can go up to a maximum of 1% health regained, which is actually quite good. So if you're doing like a speed run of a level, you're going to be gaining HP really quickly just as you're doing it. A great defensive enchantment is Final Shout. This is one of the powerful ones. When your HP drops below 25%, all of your artifacts are used, even if they're on cooldown. So if you have some really like health boosting or like something that's going to save your ass in your artifacts, it's going to be really good because up to every 8 seconds you can have all of them used anytime you're just about to die. Fire Trail is one where you roll, it creates a trail of fire behind you for a few seconds, which will damage enemies and anyone who walks into it. I don't particularly like this one because most of the enemies die before you get there. The odds that you're going to have them behind you is very, very slim. Again, I think this might be a very high level one or just not really that useful. Food Reserves is one where every time you use a healing potion, you also create random food items. So you can use a healing potion during a fight that you're taking damage, and it can make like an apple or something on the floor that you can eat and then just keep boosting your health up over time. So this is something that gives you an extra heal on top of your heal, but usually if your healing potion is enough for you, you don't really need to go this step further. The next one is Frenzied. While you're at less than half your health, your attack speed is increased up to a maximum of 30% melee and ranged attack speed, which is actually pretty good if you're almost about to die all the time. It might save your ass in some levels of the game, especially at high end. Gravity is an enchantment that every time you hit an enemy, every enemy around it will be pulled to like 1 point of impact where you hit the enemies in the first place. You can actually get this on most of your weapons as well. Health Synergy is the next one. When activating any artifact, you regain a small amount of health. I don't really think this is too beneficial because the maximum here is 5% health regained, and you don't really get to pop off artifacts every 2 seconds. I wouldn't say this is a really good one. Potion Barrier, however, is a really good one in my opinion. Whenever you use a healing potion, you take 90% less damage for a short duration, up to 9 seconds. So imagine taking 90% less damage for 9 seconds. That is a really long time. So you should pop this off right as you're about to fight a big ass boss that you know deals a lot of damage, and you just need those 9 seconds to do mad damage, and you just throw it out there. The next one is a powerful ability called Protection. It reduces the amount of damage taken up to a maximum of 15% damage taken, which is not that beneficial in my opinion. I feel like this should be a much higher ability to be called powerful, because I mean, looking at that potion one that we hit minus 90% for like 9 seconds, that's a really long time for every time you can use a potion. The next one is Recycler. This is one that I've actually used quite a bit. Every time you're hit by a damage inflicting projectile, you will occasionally craft a small quiver of arrows. If you're using a bow that runs out of arrows quite a lot, this is really good because every 10th time you get hit with an arrow, you'll actually drop your own quiver of arrows to fill up your arrow count, which is actually quite helpful. Snowball is one that I think is kind of odd, and I don't know if it's really worthwhile at a very low level, maybe at a high level, because what it does is it fires a snowball at a nearby enemy every few seconds, briefly stunning it. This can trigger every 1 second, which Might be good if you're like fighting enemies who are not dying immediately and you just want them to be stunned in front of you the whole time. Soul Speed is when you gather a soul, you gain a 1% stacking movement bonus for a short time. So this is kind of a speed boosting kind of enchantment to make you go fast. Talking about speed, the next one is Speed Synergy. When activating any artifact, you gain plus 20% movement speed for a short time, up to 3 seconds duration. Surprise Gift is something that I actually really like to use because whenever you use a healing potion, you sometimes create random consumables. And usually I'm hoping for the strength buff, the one that lets you do mad damage. And you can trigger this up to 150% chances. Sometimes you can even have 2 consumables dropping at once. Swiftfooted is something that makes your rolling make you faster for 3 seconds, up to 50% movement speed. This is obviously just a speed boost to your character. The last enchantment for armor items is Thorns. Now this is actually a good one because whenever you take damage, you deal damage back to the attacker, and this can go up to 200% damage return. So if an enemy hits you, they take 200% damage of the damage that they did to you. This is a really good armor enchantment right here. And that is all the armor enchantments. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future Minecraft Dungeons video. Thanks for watching.